You've just listened to Allegretto from a sonata by Camille Saint-Saens. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. We're already so full of energy, and I wonder why. So this is a wonderful day. Thank you, Terry and Benny, for that introduction. I'm Vicky Semones, and I'm your host today. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Tacoma. Those here in the sanctuary and those meeting with us online. Thank you for being here. Let me introduce you to the talented and dedicated people who are supporting our service today. Our musical director, Mr. Piano Man, Terry O'Hara. Benny Yangco and his expressive clarinet. Our special guest musician today is Peter Kirkland with his melodious voice. And where are you, Peter? Right there. Front row. Above the lights, our hard-working audiovisual team, Erik Perrohe, is joined by Ronald. Thank you. Our practitioners today are Suzanne Frazier-Brown on platform, who will bring us her thoughtful, insightful meditation and opening prayer, as well as a healing prayer later in the service. J. Michael Gottney will be holding high watch or consciousness from Texas through the miracle of Zoom. So we thank him for doing that for us. And today's message will be given by our incomparable lead practitioner, Mona Williams. And let's take just a moment to look at our program. This is a collaborative effort of many people, which is coordinated by Leslie Willis, our office manager, without whom this would not be possible. So we want to thank her for that. Now, if you don't know this already, we are a friendly, handshaking, meet and greet community, yet we recognize and respect that not everyone is so gregarious. And if you're here for the first time, we're so glad you've chosen to visit us and would like to acknowledge that you're here. So if you're comfortable raising your hand, please do so we can say hello. Yes, thank you so much. We want to make sure you get a visitor's envelope if someone would bring that to her. Thank you. Let's take just a moment to remember who we are and what we believe. The Center for Spiritual Living, Tacoma, is a peaceful, loving, and joyful spiritual community with a shared set of values, principles, and practices. We embody an understanding with our oneness with Source. We are committed to individual transformation and to bringing a beneficial presence on the planet. Our vision is to create a world that works for everyone. We help to empower you to bring your dreams to life, and we do this by offering a spiritual home, practicing meditation and prayer, teaching universal spiritual principles, giving consciously, living in the present moment, engaging in a life of service, and providing a pathway to peace of mind. And now, it is my distinct honor to introduce our new senior minister, Reverend Drew Ebersole, with the minister's moment.
Thank you. So wonderful. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Multiple times. I'm going to have a little gratitudes to read, and I got a little message. First, I just want to take a second and say, for all of our volunteers, can you just stand up? Anyone who volunteers any capacity, just stand up for a moment right now. And let's hear it for everyone who really gives. We're going to do that often, And like it's like Chicago voting. We're going to do it often and early. We're going to do it constantly. Ready? So that's important because that's the lifeblood of who we are. You are the center. The center is us, you, we. It thrives because we thrive as individuals and as a collective. That culture we create becomes a beacon for light in our community. And that is beautiful that we're doing it. I also want to take a second and really just let Leslie stand up and recognize her because she gives constantly for the love of this center. Leslie. Leslie and I are going to be working together as the A-team, the administrative team, the A-team here to help coordinate everything and all the efforts that you have together, bringing it together in a confluence of extraordinary purpose. I also wanted to show you something because my son volunteered at the Special Olympics yesterday at PLU, and he said it was an incredible experience. The shirt he wore at home just reminded me so much of our movement. Volunteer. And notice what's down the center. One. We are one as volunteers. This is who we are. This is how we show our oneness, by volunteering together and bringing the best of what you have. When you become alive, we become alive as a world. So bring, as Justin has at the end of his signature, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what brings you alive, and bring that here and watch the fire ignite. That's how you realize your full potential and the full potential of love in our world. So I want to thank you all very much for that. And I'm going to read our gratitudes today as well, because that's also how we unite. Somebody wrote, the wonderful trees, the glorious flowers, sunshine and freshness of mowed grass. The sun, choice, cold water, community, being healthy. Another person wrote, opportunities that heal me. Pride Month. Let's hear it for Pride Month. Right on. Right on. She says, Rose at the Presbyterian Church and new faces at CSL. Somebody else wrote, my sponsor, a beautiful family wedding, the celebration of black tea. Nice. Praying, and it's a little hard to read sometimes, so work with me here. Prayer. Learning about the persons of thyself, universal public friends. I'm not sure what that means, but universal public friends, here we go. Laughter, sunshine, myself with compassion. And then someone wrote, for my precious new kitten, for tranquility, for light and colors, for momentum. And I got to show you this one because they sealed it with a kiss. Right? I was like, oh, that's lovely. So thank you all for what you do. Reach out right now and pat each other in the back and say thank you for being here and thank you for being in community together. And have a blessed Sunday. Ty, did you want to come up? Or Ginger?
Oh, something new.
Okay.
Hello. Just a brief moment. We wanted to bring you the news of some news. So I'm Ginger. Last Sunday, we unanimously voted for our new minister, Reverend Drew. This week, we've been madly developing a letter of call. And there's a lot of detail to it, so we wanted to announce today that the letter of call has been signed. The deal is sealed. Yes. So Drew begins his journey, stepping into his call this month. In fact, today. I want to turn it over to Ty, the closer Minkler, because he did a lot of work on it. So he's got some details for you.
Well, thank you. I don't want to take any time, but we have been operating under a budget gap, as you all know. There was concern last year of a large gap, a $30,000 gap is what it looked like. That gap looks like it's now like $6,000 for the year. So that's fantastic progress, and it's thanks to all of you and also Reverend Drew. And I thought you might be curious about how his signing the call letter affected that gap, and so that's why I'm sharing that information. It's really good news where we are right now. So thank you.
This is just incredible this morning. I've got goosebumps. Wonderful news. And now we have an opening prayer and meditation with Suzanne Frazier-Brown.
Okay, so if you want to close your eyes. Thank you. If you want to close your eyes and go within to that spot where you know Spirit dwells. And this opening prayer and meditation is going to be all in one piece. The word for God, Spirit, Mother, Father, whatever your word is for God, this month, June, spotlights the word joy as interchangeable for Spirit or God or Mother, Father, or whatever your choice is. And our founder, Ernest Holmes, says, joy is the emotion excited by the expectancy of good. That's pretty nice, the expectancy of good. That means that right now, in this present moment, this very moment, before it ticks by, tick, 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 joy is. God is. And we know that there is no space within us that God is not. And that means that we can always make that choice of joy, that we wake up in joy, that we know that joy is waiting for us to just step into it. That's like a written guarantee from Spirit itself. Spirit expects, wants, and delivers the best for all of us. So right now I'm just going to ask you to let that word joy roll around in your head for a moment. Really think about that beautiful little word. And where does it land in your body? Where does it land? In your throat? In your head? In your heart? When you say it, can you feel the tingles in your fingertips? Is it the face of a beloved child? Is it your dog running to meet you at the door? Is it a quiet moment that you have sitting by the edge of the ocean? Just let yourself experience that feeling of joy. Joy can be exuberant, ridiculously silly. Joy can be a passion you feel. Joy can be as quiet as a mouse. Joy has a life of its own. So I don't know where joy meets you or where you choose to experience the joy. But make that happen today, not tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's okay too. But make it happen for yourself today. Find joy, experience joy, share joy, give it away. Joy is that thing that we all know, but sometimes it's elusive. It's not the same thing as happy. Happy and joy are two completely different things. Joy is a lasting thing. Joy is a forever thing. And we have the responsibility of looking for joy. It's a responsibility to ourselves to find the joy. It's nourishment. And so right now, I know that this room is filled with joy. I know that it's a palpable thing right here, and that we share it with each other today, and that Spirit is glad. God is joy. You are joy. And I just say thank you. Thank you, sweet Spirit. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Joy, for being here today. And I just release it now, knowing that it's going to come forward in bunches. And so it is.
Thank you, Suzanne. That was lovely. And now here is Peter Kirkland with our first song to reflect the theme for today. Everything must change.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone must change. Nothing stays the same. The young become the old. Ooh, beauty will unfold. Everyone must change. Everything must change. There are not many things in life we can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart will heal. Never much too soon. Everything must change. The young become the old. Beauty will unfold. That's the way of time. Everything must change. There comes from the clouds, and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and the hummingbirds do fly. Everything must change.
We're going to call you preacher. And now here's Suzanne Frazier with a reading for us. Thank you.
I think I've told you about this book before, this 365 Days Science of Mind. It's a good one. It's got something wonderful to say to you every day. And today, I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand, and I shall not be moved. That's from Psalms. And I started to correct the pronouns, and I thought, I don't know. Anyway, as I attune myself to the perfection of God, it flows through me. It dissipates all the obstructions of my everyday life, transforming all confusion into love and into beauty. I realize that I must bring this perfection of reality into expression, for the mind and heart of each human being are the only channels God has through which to manifest God's infinite mind and infinite perfect love, which must be expressed continually, that life may evolve in greater and greater perfection. As I permit this reality to be experienced in me and through me, I am joyous in the assurance that I am bringing into being that which is the God perfection. I am transforming a part of life, just as nature passes through the beautiful transformation called spring. I now need only to realize the true state of being, which is love. That is what I really am, to transform in all that appears to be imperfect. Love is that which is real, complete, harmony. Love is the great harmonizing always. I stand firm on the rock of reality, knowing all is well, knowing that there is but one, and that one is love.
Thank you, Suzanne. Lovely. Here's Peter Kirkland again singing, I Can See Clearly Now.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Gone are the obstacles that are in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the rain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been waiting for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Thank you for lifting us up, Peter. Super. We are honored to have our own lead practitioner, Mona Williams, give the message today, which is titled Balancing Grief and Joy.
Good morning. So I was up here a couple of weeks ago, and it was lights, camera, action. I want to say congratulations, Drew. We're blessed and privileged to have you as our senior minister. So I was looking at the theme this month. The theme is embracing self-care. And today, balancing grief and joy. But then I had to look at what the title was for the theme last month, lights within shadows, within the shadows. And there seems to be that there's this dark side that keeps coming up, but yet light, we've got joy. So wherever there is darkness, wherever there is light, it will always dissipate the darkness, always dissipate the darkness. It is to focus and to expand the light. So today, we're going to talk about balancing grief and joy. Grief and joy are two sides of the same coin, because we do go through grief, and not just when there's a death in the family or a death in the relationship. There's another personal type of grief, that it may be loss of a job. It may be because there's a change that you need to make in your life, and it feels as if you're losing something. But what you know is that there is joy on the other side. So I wanted to give some definitions. This morning, the first one is grief. In the dictionary, it says the normal response, grief is the normal response to a major loss, such as death of a loved one. Grief may also be felt by a person with a serious long-term illness or terminal illness. It may include feelings of sadness, anger, guilt, and despair. And then I was going deeper, and it's like, oh, the 5 stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And of course, you know, if I had to look up the definition of grief, I had to look up the definition of joy. And so we've been really, Suzanne talked to us about joy, and you know, I was sitting there she was talking, and she was saying, you know, where is it that you find joy? And it's not the same as happiness. I love that. It's not the same as happiness. And so I had to go in my mind, and the first thing of joy that came to me was my daughter as a little girl, and she might have been up here visiting the grandparents, but when she gets off the airplane, and it's like, oh, there's my baby. For me to go home now, and there's my nephew has 2 little nephews, and they are the cutest things. For me to open that door and to see their little curly hair everywhere and their smiling faces, what I feel then, that's joy. But the definition, weeping may last for the night. This is a biblical verse. Weeping may last for the night, but a shout of joy comes in the morning. That's Psalms 30 and verse 5. The other thing with joy, finding that joy in the midst of grieving. I said use our spiritual practices, not to forget who we are and whose we are. So we're going to go from joy comes from the heart. It is not something that is outside of us. It is something that is within us. It comes, as you look at joy, as the more reading you see, it comes from the soul. The soul being happy, the soul being satisfied. And when I use that word happy, I don't mean like, ha-ha, happy. I mean that those intrinsic needs, that spiritual need that we get, when we know it looks like everything else may be falling apart, but you know what, Spirit? I can look over here and know that you're with me. It's in my heart. It's in my soul. I just need to make it through this point. And I know that you're there. I know the love of God is there. The presence of God is there. How do we coexist with the two? And I was just explaining that. Coexisting with joy and with grief. The practitioners pray the speaker of the day in, and I was sharing with Reverend Drew and the practitioners, we were talking about grief. And I said grief is not just about, as I've been saying, it's not just about death. Grief can shut you down. It can shut you down. And I've been thinking about this as I was preparing for today. And I don't know if you guys remember, Reverend Deb spoke at the beginning of May on her 60th birthday. I don't know if she did. Reverend Deb was my prayer partner many years ago. And we were prayer partners for a long time. And I was going through practitioner training, and she was still taking the classes. But that was my ace cum boon. The company I worked for was sold. And in that transition of being sold, they changed everything. They changed our bonuses. They changed our pay scale. It was like, oh my gosh. And grief was coming on me because there was things that were going on, but I couldn't deal with the grief at the time. I had my grandson. He was probably about 5 or 6 years old. I would bring him down to California to spend a month with me. And Nana and him we got to do things, and we're going to go on vacation, and I'm just going. I get back, I bring him back up here, I go back to California, and all of a sudden, I woke up one morning and I did not have a voice. I mean, things were like, they were just breaking down. So, of course, Deb calls because we do prayer first thing in the morning. Hi, Deb, I can't talk. And it's like, oh my God, I'm going to do a treatment for you to help and blah, blah, blah. I was going through my grief period. But what I didn't realize, and I realize now, we can run right through a grief period where there's something that we need to sit down and let Spirit talk to us, and so that we rest and know it's okay to rest. I didn't do that. It had to shut me down. And it was like, do you stay at this job or do you do something different? Many people work, they do this. There is a grief period going on within them where they need to make a change. And in the process of making that change, you don't want to do it. Fear steps in the way. It could be fear. I'm one of those people that says, oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I mean, I'm all over the board. It's like, oh, what do I do, God? What do I do? What do I do, Spirit? And Spirit could just, do I trust? Do I have faith? I do trust and I do have faith, but it's a whole different thing from a human experience, just saying that and stepping out. So anyway, going back to the story of being in grief with Deb called me every day. It took me about a week. And one day I took a nap. And it was this Spirit said, Mona, it's time for you to leave that job. The next morning I woke up, I had a voice. I was like, Deb, I have a voice. I made a decision. She's like, oh, I'm like, but it's the prayer. It's the prayer. It's the person holding you in the consciousness, just like J. Michael is holding us in consciousness and high watch today. Somebody's there holding the consciousness for me to make that change. And so when I went back to the job, I walked in, I said, well, where's the vice president? Oh, he's gone. He's on vacation. And so the sales manager, and we worked together, she looked at me and she said, you're leaving. I said, I am. And when I got on the phone with the vice president, he's like, oh my God, it's the old Mona. You're all joyful and cheerful. It sounds like your old self. But I had to go through that dark night of the soul to really kind of search myself and let myself calm down and be okay with feeling angry, with feeling the grief, with feeling angst, with dealing with the fear of what is it I'm going to do. And you know what? I thank God that I had someone there praying for me every single day, holding the consciousness while I was holding the consciousness for myself. So I'm saying this so that we don't get stuck in grief is a bad thing. Grief is a good thing. We may give it a different name. It may be the dark night of the soul. But it's a time to stop and recognize that we're always supported and that joy is on the other side. But take a minute. Going through that is embracing self-care. It's taking care of yourself instead of running. I know that people run. You know, you're constantly on the go. And you're on the go for what reason? I have to say today, in today's world, they're constantly on the phone. I have never, a whole party going on and everybody sitting on their cell phone doing this. It's like, really? I wanted to bring up something else. Speaking of self-care this month, there's a great article in our Science of Mind magazine. I don't know if everyone subscribes to the Science of Mind magazine, but it's a wonderful tool to have. And the lady talks about turning everything off, having a tech-free day. No binging here, noising here. I don't know if you guys have a phone, but I had to turn my little ringer things off. It's like bing, bing. It's like, oh my gosh, that's annoying. Especially when you're trying to just do that self-care. Go within and let God speak through you. I know I'm not going to keep you long with this. This topic was just one of those things. When I got it, it was like, oh, I traded with someone. And then when I looked, I'm thinking, did I really need to do that? But it's something to talk about. And maybe, not maybe, there's a reason. Because as we're going through life's changes, and as we get older, that's the thing. As we get older, I'm not saying that it necessarily gets easier, but maybe it's easier to recognize when we need to stop. Listen, pray, and then act. Using our spiritual principles, doing meditation, staying in that place of uncomfortableness, uncomfortableness, and always remembering that joy is on the other side. So I'm going to end today by reading a passage. There's a book, it's called Your Needs Met, and I keep copies of it because I have a tendency to give this book out. You know, oh, somebody's weeping and crying because, oh, my relationship is blah, blah, blah. Oh, you know what? I've got a book for you. Here, look something up in here. You can stay in that weeping, crying, but I want you to read something in here to lift you up, to give you something to focus on that will bring that joy. I'm not saying happiness. I'm saying joy that will shift your spirit, your soul to a place where you can see some light. It may not be all happy, happy, but at least you know I'm okay. I live joyously. Your joy no man taketh from me. Today I am living enthusiastically, joyously. I am filled with life. I am flowing with life. God at the very center of my being is living through me. I greet this day with confidence and a feeling of zest as I let joy express within. All that the Father hath is mine. All of the intelligence and wisdom, all the abundance of life is mine to express in my living. This I am doing right now. Eagerly and confidently, I let life live through me. Thoughts of gloom and despair fade away, for they are not of God and have no power over me. Eagerly, I step out into this day, knowing that divine inspiration leads the way and right ideas are mine to use. God is expressing through me as a glorious right action in all of my affairs. There is nothing to fear. Today is mine. I live joyously, enthusiastically, spontaneously. This attitude gives power to all that I do. I rejoice, and so it is.
Thank you so very much for your messaging and your passion and your enlightening of us today. Appreciate it. Here's Peter Kirkland with another message in song, Keep On Keepin' On.
Keep on walking, keep on believing, keep on singing, keep on dancing, keep on walking, keep on believing, keep on singing, keep on dancing. Be thankful for another day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow, smile all your worries away. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow, you gotta keep on keeping on. You gotta keep on keeping on, yeah, yeah. Keep on walking, keep on believing, keep on singing, keep on dancing, keep on walking, keep on believing, keep on singing, keep on dancing. Be thankful for another day. Be grateful for tomorrow. Tomorrow, smile all your worries away. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow, and be thankful for another day. Be grateful for tomorrow. tomorrow. Smile all your worries away. Be grateful for tomorrow. Tomorrow, you gotta keep on keeping on. You gotta keep on keeping on, yeah. You gotta keep on keeping on. You gotta keep on keeping on. Thank you so much, Terry.
You don't know this, but there's a whole lot of dancing going on back there when you're singing. Keep on. So I'd like to ask the ushers to please come forward. Please join me in saying our offering blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
I would like to introduce Judy Grover, who wrote this song, and this offering song called Timeless Love, the first time that this will be performed. So, Judy?
Oh, so I wrote this piece quite a while ago for my husband Paul, who's not here today, but he'll see it online. But it is about love that transcends space and time. So there, towards the end, there's a little bit of the Doctor Who theme in there.
We are overflowing with talent and capability and love. Just beautiful. And I want to thank Terry and Benny for playing this so beautifully. So here is Suzanne Frazier with her healing prayer.
So once again, if you choose to close your eyes and go to that place where Spirit dwells within you. And once again, I would engage you in thoughts of joy today. Judy's piece was joyful. Parts of it made me want to smile. Parts of it made me want to get up and spin about. And that's why life is lovely, because we can go with those kinds of feelings. Music evokes those things in us. Joy evokes those feelings inside of us, so that even if we are in a place of trial, even if we are in a place like Mona spoke of where you may feel stuck, even if you're in a place of indecision, if you just can go within and be still, you can find that place of joy, that point of joy within, because it's there. And the only reason you're not experiencing it is because you're not feeling it. You're not looking for it. Look for the joy, and you will find it. It's a healing balm. If you're in joy and you hold the hand of a person that's not feeling well, they get your joy. They get to have your joy. That's what's so wonderful about this teaching, is that we can just spread it like butter on toast. There's no limit. There's no limit. God loves you, every one of us. God is in favor of us. God is the greatest cheerleader you will ever have. And I just am grateful right now. Grateful for everything that took place in this service today. Grateful for the presence of our wonderful Drew, Reverend Drew. Grateful for the beautiful words that were spoken by Mona. Grateful for the enthusiasm of Vicky. Absolutely, profoundly grateful always for the music from Terry and Benny. And a gift, supreme gift, is having Peter Kirkland with us. We are truly blessed. And I just release the joy, knowing that it's available. And I call it good and very good. And so it is.
I'll never eat butter on toast quite the same again. Yummy. Thank you, dear. So you never know what's going to come up, you know. So now we have just a few announcements, so hold tight. First of all, this is for anyone who wasn't here or on Zoom last week and may have missed our announcement that we have voted unanimously for Reverend Drew Ebersole to be our new senior minister. And he has obviously accepted. If you did not yet sign up for the class, This Thing Called You, there is still a place for you. It started last Tuesday. It's facilitated by Doug Taylor. And whether you are new to Science of Mind teachings or have been practicing for years, you will find this course invigorating, and as you explore various dimensions of being and reconnecting with Source. Good to know. You haven't missed out on anything yet. So you need to register so you can attend this marvelous class. It's also going to be, it's offered on Zoom, right? Okay, on Tuesdays. So get more information online and get yourself on the website to register. Another new class, 5 Gifts for an Abundant Life, will be held on Wednesday starting June 14th for 8 weeks. It's facilitated by Mona Williams, the profound Mona Williams. You can manifest the 5 gifts of gratitude, intentions, forgiveness, tithing, and surrender. The course is hybrid, and you can find more information and register on our website. And for people online, that's CSL-Tacoma.org. Our second tapas and New Thought event is coming up next Saturday, June 17th at 6:30. And Sharon is asking us to please register and let Sharon know today or go online to register, because they have to buy, you want to buy tickets, and they have to plan the amount of food and drinks. So if you're thinking of going, say yes and register. And there, she tells us that there are gluten-free options and vegetarian going to be provided as well. And are we doing something with solstice on that? Okay, we're celebrating solstice as well. Also, mark your calendar for a fabulous weekend of music and arts on August 18 to 20. It's being coordinated by Mona, and it's going to be a fabulous thing, so get that on your calendar. And let us pause to recognize and thank our Tacoma CSL practitioners. They are our spiritual coaches. They're ready and willing to help you navigate solutions to change and transitions with affirmative prayer. And it works beautifully. It is powerful. You can join them in the prayer room at the back after service for a brief prayer circle. So thank you so much for being here today. If there's nothing else, anything else surprising? Okay, thank you. This has been glorious. And let's stand and sing I Release and I Let Go.